and welcome to my channel. My name is Kendall and I am a high school senior currently. Today I'm going to be talking about my journey through giving up sugar and why and how I decided to do so. So I used to have a big sweet tooth. I liked the taste of cookies, boba, and ice cream, like typical kid does. Just growing up with it, that's what I had and that's what I liked. So naturally, when I stopped eating sugar, when I made the decision to stop, it was pretty difficult and I struggled a bit at first. Yeah, so on Christmas Eve, or before I get into that, Christmas 2020, the holiday seasons were coming up, right? And naturally, or not naturally, I don't know, I had sugary treats like cookies were more readily available because my grandma was sending cookies to us for the holidays because she likes to bake, and my mom was bringing home sweet treats like little bundt cakes or cookies from work. So I had a fair share of sweets. And on Christmas Eve 2020, I had too many sweets and I just started to feel kind of sick. Not kind of, I felt sick, like physically and mentally. I did not feel too great about it either mentally. So I made the decision to stop eating sugar. I realized that I didn't like this, that I had been eating too many sweets and it was quarantine, and I wanted to be healthier because this was a big time of just roller coasters of emotions and everything, and I wanted to be in a healthier place. So I decided to stop eating sugar and I quit cold turkey. Now, the next morning, I opened up my stocking to reveal a pile of chocolates. And, well, you know what I did? I gave them back to my parents. I told myself that I wasn't gonna eat sugar anymore, and I stuck to it, though it was very difficult. Now, like I said, I used to have a big sweet tooth, but I don't have one anymore. I no longer crave sugar. I find sugar and sweets and processed foods in general kind of gross. I've done a lot of research in nutrition since then, and I've learned about where my food has come from and how the body breaks down different foods and how it uses that for energy, and I realized I wanted to fuel my body the best way possible. And ultimately, it's a big mindset thing. What I did was I told myself, no, I don't want sugar. I don't like the way that it makes me feel. And I ended up going through withdrawal. Now, just like your body, you can get addicted to drugs, alcohol, or caffeine even, you can get addicted to sugar. I remember experiencing some horrible migraines in the first few days when I was giving up sugar because, well, the body becomes accustomed to the foods that it receives, and it will learn to fuel itself and create energy from the foods it receives because, well, it's simply a survival mechanism. You put food into your body, and whether it's more macro or micronutrient dense foods or less micronutrient dense food, it's gonna try to get what it can out of that to fuel you and keep you alive. So my body had become accustomed to sugar and added sweeteners, so that's what it wanted. When I stopped eating that, it began to crave that. Your body wants glucose. Now, glucose, one of the building blocks of many foods, of simple carbohydrates. It's found naturally in sugars, but also in the form of added sugars and added sweeteners. And that is what your brain initially craves. It's the simplest source of energy for your brain and for your body. So your body will first break down simple carbohydrates, then it'll go to your complex carbohydrate stores, and finally your fat stores when it runs out of carbohydrates to burn or to convert into energy. So I became accustomed to sugar and I went through withdrawal and I had horrible migraines, but I did some research and I was looking into it and I realized that migraines are a symptom of sugar withdrawal. That sugar withdrawal is a real thing. Just like you can get addicted to caffeine, you can get addicted to sugar. And like I said, there is science behind this. It's science-based evidence that your body can develop an addiction to this because it becomes accustomed to those foods that you fuel it with, and it wants more of those foods. So I started to crave sugar more, but I told myself I wouldn't have it, and because I wanted to stick to it. I wanted to see how far I could take this, if I could continue with this sustainably. And luckily, or not luckily, but I was glad to hear or to read that those effects usually only last about a week. And sure enough, after a week, I stopped getting migraines. They went away, and I felt a lot better. I felt more energized. I just felt healthier overall, more physically and mentally better. And I realized that I was able to perform better. I had more energy during my workouts, and I was better able to focus and concentrate on my schoolwork, and just my cognitive and physical improvements skyrocketed, and I was just amazed by this discovery. And then like I said, I used to have a big sweet tooth. I crave sweets, but those cravings went away when I stopped eating sugar. And eventually I began to cut out junk food and processed foods as a whole. But that's another story that I'll get into in a different video, because that was a whole another roller coaster. That was a more difficult journey, because like I mentioned before, your body becomes accustomed to the foods that you fill it with, and it wants more of those foods. So it'll crave those when there's a lack of them, which is why when people follow diets, it can be hard for them to stick to them. Now, for me, just a major factor that helped me cut out sugar and processed foods as a whole was my change in mindset. But ultimately, it was creating a meal plan for myself. Now, you don't need to go out on the internet and look up, okay, this celebrity's meal plan or the perfect meal plan. If there was a perfect meal plan, we'd all be following it, right? A perfect diet, we would all be following it. There is no one perfect diet. There's just plenty of different diets and varieties of foods that work for you. Now, creating a meal plan, you need to find foods that you like, that you actually enjoy the taste of. Combine a variety of spices and flavors that you like, that you will want to eat, right? Don't force yourself to eat foods that you don't want just because they're healthy, but eat foods that you like that are healthy. Foods in their most natural states. But you can also have cooked foods as well. It's just finding a balance that works for you. Now structure your meals and possibly snacks. Like I said, it depends on the structure of your day, in your exercises, your workouts, what works for you specifically. And to make sure that you're getting the macronutrients and micronutrients that you need. Have a good amount of protein in each of your meals, and carbohydrates should be the main calorie source of each meal, since carbohydrates are what our bodies use for fuel the most. And of course, a moderate amount of healthy unsaturated fats from olive oil or other nut oils, and nuts, seeds, even avocado or fatty fish. Personally, I can't stand the taste of avocado, but if you like it, it's a very healthy food. And when I say healthy food, I mean foods that are more natural and closest to their raw states, right? Like a lot of vegetables, leafy greens, even starches, legumes, nuts, seeds, fruits, whole grains, egg whites, lean fish. There's a whole variety of foods that you can eat. And you just need to find what works for you. Now that's a big thing for me. With a meal plan, I don't have to think or worry about certain foods I'm putting into my body. I can just put these foods into my body, and I don't worry about craving snacks or other things. I don't have cravings anymore, but I do enjoy the taste of the food that I eat. And I'm not going back to sugar, because I've experienced such improvements in my performance physically, as an endurance athlete, I'm a runner, a cross-country runner, and a lacrosse player. I care about the food that I put into my body because I know that that affects me physically, and it also affects me mentally. I care about my academics, my grades, and I want to make sure that I can perform well in class and be able to focus, have that attention span, and I'm better able to focus when I'm fueling myself with complex carbohydrates instead of these simple sugars that would just cause my glucose levels to spike and then drop. And that's my story. Well, just, yeah, I guess creating a meal plan and putting yourself in frame, just knowing that you are in control of what goes into your body. Of course, people can sway you in one direction or another, and someone can, you might have parents or guardians making a meal for you, but ultimately you decide what you put into your body, and you're in charge of how you decide to fuel yourself. So just fuel yourself in a way that works for you, and convince yourself that you got this. If you want to change your diet, you not diet as in, oh, I'm following a strict diet. No, diet is the food that you put into your body. So if you want to change that, make that change. There is no perfect time to start. Start right now. Well, maybe not right this instant, but next time you go to have a meal or a snack, just think about it. Be thoughtful with the food you eat, because the food that you eat, nutrition, has a big impact on your health, your physical health, and your mental health. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video and are looking forward to seeing future videos. I hope to make more videos on the topics of nutrition and running, how to get into running and to stick with it, and how to improve your performance through nutrition, of course, and also through making other physical changes, and just certain workouts that you can do, or just ways to frame your mindset, because it's a big mindset thing on how to make these changes. You are in control. You are your own person. You can't let someone else tell you what to do. If you want to go out and work hard, then do it. The only person that's really preventing you from doing anything is yourself. Now, don't let fear get in the way, but stick with it. If you want to do something, you can. Just put your mind to it. You got this. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.